Hear ye, and welcome to the Royal Geek Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Rollison, also known as T-Roll, and tonight I'm joined by my very good friends. First of all, we have Justin Sandoval, a.k.a. Sandy, and we also have Anthony Amato, who we like to call Shamato. Boys, back again on the pod with y'all. How are you guys doing?
Great, man. Fantastic. I'm so excited about March Madness right now. I'm so pumped.
You're right. It's the season, man.
It is the season.
I actually hate it. That was a joke.
Yeah, for Justin, it's March Sadness.
Yes, it is.
Justin hates just
He
sports
hates
that
joy.
aren't. Yeah. Justin hates sports, ladies and gentlemen. He hates the passion and the heart of sports.
Yeah.
He's only in it for the money.
Yep,
So
exactly.
he hates March Madness. But anyways, we're not here to talk about March Madness.
We are not.
Even
no.
though I wouldn't mind that, but we're actually talk some Marvel madness. All right.
Hey.
Talk some Marvel animation.
Yeah.
All right. This is the. Okay, so is this MCU canon?
Technically, I remember seeing an interview like 2 years ago saying that this was canon.
Okay, but
it's in 97.
It's clearly happening in 97 because there's like
Yeah.
someone said
A
page
pager.
me.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yes.
heard that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And he had money, so obviously not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also saw a cassette player fall from that Ferris wheel.
Yes. That's
Not
right,
even a CD player. It was a
tape,
cassette tape. Okay, anyways, we are here to review X-Men 97, the first 2 episodes of this series. I don't even know how many there going to
10.
be. There's going to be 10.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, we got like 2 months of recording this. That'll be
Yeah.
fun.
Enjoy.
I hope you guys are looking forward to it. If not, find another freaking podcast to listen to. Speaking of which, thanks for listening to our podcast.
Seriously.
I want to remind you to subscribe wherever you listen. Follow us on social media at Royal Geek Pod. And, yeah, we really appreciate you. So I guess this is your spoiler warning for episodes 1 and 2
Yeah. There you go.
of X-Men 97. So, man, where should we start here, guys? We just want to do a general.
I think we should start here. Okay.
Okay.
We should start.
Where?
We're millennials, so
We are millennials.
This came on Saturday mornings when we were kids.
Yes.
And I know for me, personal experience, X-Men animated series was phenomenal. I was there glued to my television screen, and every time that opening intro hits, like it's something that it just takes over your entire body, and you are zoned in, and you are there. So I would like to start with nostalgia-wise. It felt incredible to watch this opening credits because it was almost the exact same.
Yeah. It was pretty much the exact same. I would like to kind of throw out one of the best parts of the Miss Marvel series was that 2-second stinger of this opening.
Yeah,
That was in Miss Marvel. So it was super, like you immediately know what's happening when you hear that, and you're just seeing them like going across the screen. And I feel like, unfortunately, with the rise of the MCU, like X-Men has taken such a back seat in a lot of ways in the Marvel world. Same thing like Fantastic Four things. It's been this weird turn that if you haven't been like a Marvel fan or a comic book fan for more than 15, 20 years, like you would be like, okay, who are these X-Men?
Correct,
Like you might have like a slight idea, but like these were big entities.
Yeah.
And then
Who's
before
Morph?
before 2008, these were big entities.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's good. So I'm so glad we're starting here. Good jumping off point, Justin, because I am a millennial, but I'm younger than you guys.
Yes.
So I would have been, when this came out, I would have been 5. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
Perfect age to be talking about discrimination, segregation.
yeah, absolutely. I love bigotry.
I completely know what this is about.
5-year-old me just learning about bigotry. Gotta love it.
Yep.
No, but the truth is, I don't. I watch cartoons, but on Saturday mornings, but
Not this.
not this.
Yeah.
No.
So welcome.
So all my X-Men love came from live action. So
Yeah.
So again, like Gambit, who is like one of the most popular characters in
Yeah.
X-Men.
Yeah.
Like,
comics and animated series.
Right. I'm
boosted
like,
them.
who was that?
Yeah.
Because they never pulled it off.
Yeah, I would say like live action wise, like I've said this before. Like I have like 4 characters from the animated that were like my 4 big ones. In live action, I feel like only one of them got justice.
Correct.
Like out of my 4, which my 4 are Wolverine, Cyclops, Gambit, and Rogue. Like those are like.
So let's talk about Rogue for a second. Okay. So we're actually we have some. Amato brought some
figures.
action figures on our table here. Nobody can see them because we're not recording this on video.
Nope. I just thought it'd be cool.
Inspiration.
Yes.
Rogue looks sick.
Yes.
In the original kind of in this world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rogue doesn't look like an insecure little teenager
No.
Like the movies, yeah.
like the movies. Yeah, Rogue's awesome. Rogue's awesome.
Yes.
How did they blow that so
They
bad?
blew it so bad, man.
I almost,
They
you know what
blew it
I'm
so
thinking? Like, I'm almost like, well, actually, I'm kind of glad they didn't really pull off Gambit. I guess. I mean, I know you said he was in.
In
He was in
Origins.
X-Men Origins. Wolverine.
Yeah, and isn't he also in Days of Future Past, kind of, or is that someone else?
I don't think so.
No?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay,
No.
never mind.
Mm-mm.
I'm
I mean, if he was, I don't know. No, I don't think he was.
I feel like I would have been more excited.
sorry, I'm
Like-
drunk. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
No, I guess I'm just. I'm not actually drunk, but I guess these characters like. I just don't have an appreciation for them because
Yeah, which I think by the end of this, I would love to come back to that.
I'd be happy to as
I think
well.
this is
Yeah.
perfect to stay on the episode 1 of this podcast.
Yeah.
This is perfect. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, I mean, and even also like Wolverine. Even Wolverine was like, I mean, yeah, he's cool, but
Yeah. Dude, Wolverine's a side character in X-Men.
yeah, he's a side character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not like a lead. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
it's messing with my
It's
mind.
going to be an adjustment. So,
Magneto's a hero.
so should we start by talking about
Well, that's a little like, yeah.
Well, yeah, wait on that.
I'll wait on that. I'm just messing around.
So, should we talk about the characters before we dive into the
Sure,
actual plot?
yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
So, here's something that I've been after watching these 2 new episodes. I remember as a kid, like being a diehard Cyclops fan. Like
Yes.
I remember being like that guy, right? For
Yeah.
Cyclops. And then live action came, and for some reason, like my fandom went away. Well, obviously the Cyclops was not
Yes.
that. James Marsden, I love the guy to death. He's awesome. But he did not do a fantastic job that he deserved. That Cyclops deserved.
Better than Rogue.
Well, no, here's the thing, okay? And then this episode reminded me of my childhood self.
Yes.
I was right all along. Cyclops is a cool character.
He is a cool character. I think part of it's just because of the live action. They decided, and I think it's directly related to Wolverine. I think they decided we want Wolverine to be the main character, and we need someone to be the absolute foil of him.
Yeah.
And that is that is Cyclops. What they decided to do with Cyclops, they decided to make him so bland. They've decided to like basically slap, hey, we're gonna take personality of like Superman, and we're gonna make him that character, and we're gonna make him like just bland, and he's gonna
that's
be,
funny.
that way.
Uptight.
On one side, you have like we're gonna put Jean Grey in the middle. We're gonna have.
Love triangle.
Yeah, we're gonna put that love triangle,
Which is still kind of there in the animated series.
Yeah,
so,
I mean
yeah,
it is.
It's there.
But but we're gonna have a very the cool person. Is gonna be Wolverine, and just bland like black and dry. We're not gonna let anybody think about what side is the better side in this relationship.
Right, yeah.
Which the animated series does a better job of
Way better job.
Although, which is ridiculous because the animated series is supposed to be more for a younger audience, whereas live action is supposed to be for a little bit of an older audience. But essentially, what you have here is a reversal of it. It's like the animated is actually giving the audience credit for being able to think and being able to understand that there is a push and pull on both sides.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah, I think it was interesting to see Wolverine as a side character, but you could also still see like the beef that he has with Cyclops.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's real.
Yeah, it's there. It's real. It's there. Animated and live action. It's there.
Yeah.
He's much more of a character that he's a side character, but he's a side character that pulls attention anytime he's on screen.
Yeah. They did not utilize in these 2 new episodes Rogue like they did in the last ones. Like Rogue is phenomenal. In the, in the
she's
old
amazing.
ones. I think she will be by the end of this.
Oh
but,
yeah. She has an important role to play.
Yeah, she has a very, very important role to play. But I will say, this kind of sparked my again, I'm like, oh yeah, Rogue, she's coming.
Yes.
Like, it's gonna be awesome. You're gonna see a lot of cool stuff. And then I was always a huge fan of Storm. Growing up, and when in the new episodes when they said that an Omega threat is coming, and Storm just comes out of the sky.
Well, because you forget
yes,
that,
you do how truly powerful controlling weather
so
is.
epic she actually is.
And Magneto said, "You're the closest thing to a goddess we have."
Yes.
Well, awesome. So and also so Charles Xavier, putting things into perspective, Charles Xavier was not an Omega level mutant. Storm is.
Yeah.
So and that's
Storm
essentially.
was.
Yes, you are correct.
We'll get there.
Yes, but anyway, just to throw that into perspective, she is on next level above even Charles Xavier, who everybody thinks of as a high
tier,
end mutant.
Yeah, that is interesting. So,
and for me, I think Jean's the same. She's still kind of like she's annoying. She's kind of there to just kind of move the story along because she has she's the brains. Like she's got everything figured out. Kind of annoying. But when she's Phoenix, it's another story. But we had a little nod to that.
Did we get that in the animated back in the day? Or
we did. It was an epic saga. It was probably one of the best our storylines in.
So let's talk real quick.
Series.
This is a remake /
sequel. Yes, it's a continuation of storyline because where we left off, where in the original X-Men series, I mean Charles Xavier was killed. That was a big deal.
Yeah.
That was a thing. And so we're picking up right here, after, literally right after.
Okay.
Yeah. Beast, same old, all the other side characters. They're all the same. They're all kind of just there to be there. Gambit, still cool.
Yeah.
His powers are still cool. They're still. I don't know.
He's got red eyes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's got black eyes with red pupils. Yeah. Pretty cool.
That's what I meant.
Pretty epic.
Yeah,
Pretty
just
absolutely epic.
Super cool. I think one of the coolest things that we forget about is the teamwork that we don't see a whole lot in a lot of other superhero fights. Usually it's these one-on-one situations.
Yeah.
But it was really cool seeing the teamwork that happens with these like the scene where Wolverine and Gambit where Gambit's riding on Wolverine and he infuses his claws and it's just super cool stuff like that.
That was so sick.
Which I think the closest we've come to that was the Avengers movie in 2012. I think that's the closest we've come to collaboration fights. I believe so. I don't know if anything recent. It's not
way too much for me to think about now.
But I would love to see that in a future live action X-Men movie. I feel like if they can just take an ounce of what they're doing here in this newer animated series, then I think the future's bright for the X-Men.
I mean, think how cool it would be to see Storm charge up Thor.
Yeah,
how cool would that be to just see her just bring it in and just give him a little extra oomph as he goes.
Yeah, hold on. This can't be MCU canon.
Why is that?
Because if Storm's not a mutant anymore,
well,
there's no way we're gonna not have Storm in Marvel in MCU.
Well, we watch the 10 episodes first. See what happens. I think I don't think it's permanent. We haven't got there yet, but I don't think it's permanent.
Okay. Beast said it was permanent.
Yeah, but Beast is a chump. So
hey now. It's messed up.
Yeah. So storyline. You want to get into this plot of okay,
plot.
So episode 1 was kind of like a reintroduce. We had 2 epic fight scenes, which Cyclops completely highlights both scenes, and
just how awesome he can be.
Rescuing a mutant kid from a warehouse that is
Roberto.
that is using Sentinel technology. I don't think I've ever seen in the previous animation Cyclops use his beam to moonwalk, to slide his body across the warehouse was absolutely epic.
Yeah, it was super cool. He was so he was so creative with his powers. It was super cool seeing him do that kind of stuff. And I do feel like we did have a scene where you almost got to see. It almost felt to me like the writers for the X-Men movies went up to this point, but then didn't read the rest of this page in a way. So when he's tied up and they take off his glasses and he's like, "Oh, please, I surrender," and I feel like they stopped right there. And they're like, "This is gonna be James Marsden's character."
The entire
thing. And then the next slide is him being like, not, and like
Yeah.
Just
him being-
kidding.
And
Yeah.
blows up the whole warehouse.
Yes, like just like lights up the place. Like
That is so funny, dude.
Like
I
I
love
just I just feel like they missed out on like how awesome he could be,
Right.
You know, and it really was cool just seeing him like be versatile with his powers,
Yeah.
and I did feel like it always felt like, and I don't know if it was just because of like where they wanted him to be in the storyline in the live action version, but like he always seemed to be like tentative with his powers. He always
Right.
seemed to be. It always seemed to be
He
defensive.
didn't want to unleash it. He was
Yes,
too worried
yes.
about what he was going to do with his powers.
He didn't want to unleash it. He didn't.
Shy.
Exactly.
Self-conscious.
Exactly.
Yes,
Yeah.
he was self-conscious about what's happening. He never really wanted to like. He never seemed confident in anything that he was doing with it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think he really ever saw it as. He only ever saw it as a burden part of it, not as the the gift
Yeah.
part. You know, and I understand like it being both a burden and a gift, but I don't feel like he ever really saw the gift of it in the live action version.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So like, there's a few like subplots going on right now. There's the like who's going to lead the team with
Yes.
the X-Men, and then there's the government aspect of it is like mutants. Where do they belong? That
Yes.
kind of thing, right?
Which it's actually kind of a relatively positive place at the moment.
Yeah, yeah.
So
They left on a high note because of.
You mean after episode 2?
well, even going into the series,
going into the series because like Xavier, he was assassinated, and so that kind of like
he essentially becomes like a martyr.
gathered
Yeah.
people to the cause, that kind
yes.
of thing. Yeah,
Like how the biggest, it's essentially so. One of the biggest things is that they've been likened to is like Xavier's Martin Luther King and Magneto's Malcolm X.
Yeah, right.
So like, and him being assassinated kind of plays into that whole character, and like him dying in his cause kind of like pushes the positive of the mutant relationship.
Gotcha.
yeah.
However, at the end of episode 1, we see that Magneto is standing in.
Yes.
Xavier's office.
Yeah, and with a apparent change of heart.
Yes.
Yes, he apparently has the will and testament of Charles Xavier, and apparently he owns everything now. He's got the rights to the
Yes.
mansion, the X-Men, everything like that. And he said he literally says a change of heart.
What an
Yeah.
interesting move by Charles.
Yeah, I think just
What a
it's true.
gamble.
Deep down, like he was just like he's my friend, and he's
Yes.
always been my friend.
Yes.
And yes, we've battled, and Storm even says that you've been our biggest foe for
Yeah.
a majority of our existence.
Yes.
And Charles just had faith in the end that he was going to do the right thing.
Yeah, I think the way like Charles saw their relationship was they were more like it was their points of view that were different. It wasn't that they were different as people, and I think that's the biggest thing that he was trying to get at is like this, like their methods may be different, the way they go at things may be different, but underneath they want the same result. They want the same. They have the same like drive and purpose.
Yeah, essentially they do. Their tactics for sure are
Yes.
definitely different. But
Although I
the
don't think
meaning behind
Magneto
it-
ever felt like in his villain form that he ever wanted to coexist. He even said that word as he was scoffing at it.
Yeah.
Which to me says they have different goals. Those are two radically different things.
Well, they both want mutants to flourish and be successful in society. That's
Yep.
their main goal for both of them. But Xavier wants them to be a part of the community, and Magneto wants them to be the community. Like that's it.
Yeah, I feel like those are still radically different though. You guys are saying they're like they want the same thing. It's like, no, they don't. I don't think so.
Well, I think a lot of it is like Magneto sees. I think the reason why Magneto sees that they have to be the community is because he's seen the way that humans treat
Correct.
mutants, and it isn't
Look at
necessarily that
Look at Storm.
he wants
Yeah,
to be
true.
necessarily the only thing. But I think the way he sees humans is that they are so they are so prejudiced against mutants that the only way that mutants will ever exist is if humans are, something is done with the humans.
Yeah. Eradicated.
Right. Yeah, and that's my point. Like that's a lot different than what Charles is saying. So
Charles is saying win them over. And and Magneto saying,
Finish
just finish him. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
Finish that. But yeah, so he's got a change of heart, and everyone's kind of skeptical at the compound.
I still am skeptical, to be honest
Yeah.
with you.
Oh, yeah? Okay,
I was 100% thinking.
Dude, I thought he was about to crush.
Oh
that.
yeah. I was 100% thinking that Magneto is the reason for all of this happening in the first
Yeah.
place. Like he's kind of like doing this
Pulling
on
the
purpose.
strings,
But
yeah.
then when he brought everybody up into the sky and then had his little speech, I was like, dang. Okay.
Because that would be
He's got a change of heart.
Because if he was, that would be the moment if
That
he was
would
still
be.
himself,
Yeah,
right?
correct. Because you have the power. I mean, you're holding the government forces that are directly persecuting you.
Yeah.
In your hands, literally in your hands.
After Storm just took one.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct. But
Like, that would be the moment.
True, but I also think this could be part of a bigger play by him.
Uh-oh. That's
Because
okay, let's
like
hear
I
it.
really think that I think Magneto is smart enough to understand that at that moment that essentially what he would be doing is he'd be making martyrs of them. And I think he understands at that moment that he can get more leverage over the entire situation if he shows a little grace at that moment. That means more in that moment, and it gets more towards his side than violence at that moment.
This is some. He's playing chess. If that's true,
How many times did you see them play chess in the live action?
like literally, yeah,
Yeah,
you're
too-
right. That's
too
fair.
many, too
That's
many.
fair.
One too many. I think. I mean,
a fair point.
I see where you're going there. I think he could, at any point in time, just take over the entire government. The issue is the X-Men standing in his way.
Yes.
So, are you saying that this is a play to gain favor with the X-Men so that he can accomplish his goals, or are you saying that there's something even bigger in plan? Because I feel like he could easily just conquer the world right now, but if it wasn't for the X-Men.
I mean, I'm not sure what his
Because I can get behind that. I can get behind
yes.
it.
I'm not
I
sure
don't see why.
if he what direction he's exactly leaning at the moment, whether he's trying to win them over entirely or if he's trying to just better position himself.
He's won over Cyclops
Yes.
by the end. So
Yes.
it's working. Whatever he's doing is working. I mean, if he would have destroyed the people up in the sky, then I would have been like, okay, yeah, obviously he's still crooked. But I actually do think, knowing his relationship with Charles Xavier, and where he's at, and what his decision was of saving them and giving that speech, I think he has made the full turn.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah.
I'm leaning that way.
Yeah.
I'm leaning that way. They make him a Loki. Kinda.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you
It
go.
is possible,
And
but
he's
I
a cool,
will
he's
say
a cool hero too.
Essentially what he would have done if he had crushed those people or done something to those people in the sky, or even if he had just killed the one
the
dude.
guy. Yeah.
Trash.
That still would have pushed a lot of people into one of those like hate groups
Yeah.
that are like human based.
Oh, the Executioner. That's
Yes.
who it was.
The
Yeah.
Talk about
Executioner,
talk about
yes.
the Capitol Stormers.
like
Yeah. Them.
yeah, whatever they were.
Capital
yes.
Stormers.
Let's be real, dude. Those are Capitol Stormers,
Yeah.
bro.
Anyway, but yeah, that would have pushed a lot of
Friends of
people into
Humanity.
that camp.
Friends of Humanity.
I knew
Yeah.
it was like
Yeah.
FOH, but I couldn't remember which one that was. But like, I do think that would have pushed more into that park. Whereas this, he's pulled more people towards him.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I think you're right for sure.
Yeah.
Hey man, you got a wicked cough, bro. You feeling all
I
right?
know.
dude?
Yeah, I
He was literally fine 40 minutes ago.
Yeah,
But
it's just the mics are hot.
Yeah.
yes.
It's when it comes.
Yep. But Storm loses her powers at the end.
Man, it's heartbreaking too because like Storm literally, she protected Magneto. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
And maybe
But that's who she is, though.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
you're
you're right,
a
but-
hero through and through, right?
Yes.
Like it doesn't matter like who you're saving. You're saving somebody.
yeah, because at least in her mind, in that moment, like Magneto has been, at least up until that point, he's really been doing what he can to like be peaceful. So
Right.
she wants to, she wants to protect him from kind of what's going on there. And that dude, I didn't know what he had at the time,
Right.
But now we learned he had some sort of
power
What did
taking
he
away.
say? What
Like, I don't
exactly did
know.
he say?
It was it had something to do with they infused the Sentinel gun with the collar inhibitors.
radiation.
Yeah, the radiation from the inhibitors. And I think that if the Ayers weaponry like this, like we're gonna see a 3-pronged battle with like the humans actually having a chance.
Wasn't this they had something similar in live action, right? What in one of the movies there was
well, they were doing a cure, like they were doing like shots or something, like
Yeah.
and Rogue was going to get one because she
That's right.
can't touch anybody. That whole
which they also portrayed that in a tasteful way, in a way that makes sense for
Right.
this character. I don't want to talk about the live action Rogue.
no. Trust me, the animated Rogue
Such a waste of time.
brings her.
Which actually interesting with the live action version, the person that actually talks her out of it is Storm. Like if you remember, Storm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and here we
That's
go.
right.
And here we go.
Storm is the one who's like, oh no, it's not like this isn't some disease or anything like that. It is
And
a
dude-
part of who you are.
Yeah.
And dude, look again. For me, we also learned that Rogue and Magneto got a little bit of a history. Maybe
They
I
do,
shouldn't say
yeah.
learn. You guys might have known that.
Rogue and Magneto have definitely had something going on.
But again,
before.
from my perspective, someone who's never watched animation, all I'm thinking is like,
Hey-yo.
dude, that's an old man and a teenager.
Rogue's a little older in the series. She's
Yeah.
one of-
Sure.
yeah, but-
and Magneto is not ancient like he is.
Right.
in, You know, the live action movies and
correct.
before First Class.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's just
I get
weird
your
for
point.
me because like they clearly did some major deviations with some
The
of these
characters.
Yes,
These characters,
yes.
Yeah.
They did. Which Gambit and Rogue have they've had like a on again off again
Yeah.
type of relationship, and obviously in this series it started with them on again.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
who does she get with later in the live action?
Oh,
Is it-
Iceman.
Iceman,
yeah,
yeah.
Iceman.
Yeah.
Freaking Chuck Liddell over here, man.
which we might get Iceman in this series. Maybe. I mean,
Maybe.
he's a prominent side character. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry,
So-
I keep going back to live action
do,
because I
you
know
do.
because I
That's
know
what
it.
you know,
That's
yeah.
what I know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but a couple of the subplots here is like Jean's having a baby and Wolverine is the one around to help her, and then
that was hilarious.
yes, it was.
Yeah, it's like why the one person left at the house. You leave Wolverine
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
with your pregnant wife.
yeah.
Well, once again, it's a way to create that tension, between
Yeah, of course.
between Wolverine
Yeah.
and Scott, because
We've had
the
some
idea of
longing
him
moments
being
of
there.
him watching her and Scott interact, and he's like, "That should be me," that
Yeah.
kind of thing, right?
Yeah, it's one of those ideas. It's like it's him
Now-
being there when Scott can't
Was-
be. It's
was
like that
this-
idea of like
Was
you
the
know, be
storyline
underneath it.
around in the original series though?
Yeah, it was.
Okay,
It was.
well that makes me feel a little better
Yeah.
that they didn't just force it in live action.
No,
like
no.
Like seeing it in live action,
Yeah.
you'd be like, that makes sense. Although you might be a little surprised that they put their chips behind Wolverine,
Yes.
like
yeah.
the studio did.
Correct. Yeah.
But again, when you got Hugh Jackman,
Hugh Jackman was. Honestly, I think he was the factor. The X.
they're like,
factor.
oh shoot,
Yeah.
we got Hugh Jackman.
This guy's legit.
We hit gold here.
yeah,
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah. But I thought it was the scene where Wolverine's driving her to the hospital
That
was
was
really
great.
really
Yeah.
fun.
He's like about to murder people, running them over,
And she has to save
She has
them,
to
yeah.
save them, even though she's like, you're going into labor.
Yes.
Yeah. But even though there's like a catastrophic event happening at the Capitol where these people are destroying mutants and stuff, they still were like, "Hey, Scott, go save go be with your
Yeah.
wife, like go."
Yeah.
But there's literally people dying around them.
Dude, they literally did it at the Capitol too. You
Yeah,
know
I
what they were
know.
doing, bro.
I know.
I think it's hilarious.
I love
but
it. I love
Whatever.
it, yeah.
Whatever.
But yeah, like they were. I mean, that scene was funny, and then the baby's born, and then like Cyclops is there.
Yeah.
They give the baby a name, which obviously
Nathan
Charles Summers, which is Cable.
Yes.
He grows up to be Cable.
Okay. That's funny.
Yep.
Which Cable has some sick powers, like the
Yeah.
telekinesis and the telekinetic stuff. Like it's cool stuff.
Yeah.
What did you guys think? Did you like this isn't plot related. This is like the look of it, the animation style.
Yeah, I really
Yeah.
did actually. Yeah,
I
did.
think basically they pretty much kept what it was before, just a little crisper.
Upgrades. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like-
yeah. They
Yeah.
took
Like
the
as if you
original-
went from a square TV to a high def flat screen.
essentially.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Which is good.
I
It's,
can see
it's
that.
fine.
like-
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So go from like PS2 graphics to like PS3 or 4.
Yeah.
No, but that's PS2 to PS4. It's drastic.
Okay,
change.
PS2 to
Yeah.
PS3. That's that.
Yeah,
Don't you think?
I mean,
Fair?
that's no. I think it's a little bit
PS1 to PS2.
probably. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what it's like. Yeah. That's what it's like. Yeah.
That would check out with the years, but
Yeah, it would. It actually would, yeah. And then there's this like other subplot of like just like the teen aspect, like Jubilee and like Roberto and like getting in touch with your powers and like fitting in and like that whole
but that's
discrimination
always,
stuff.
Yes,
like,
that's
trying to get
that's
into
always been the social commentary.
Yeah.
of
yes,
the
which
X-Men,
is
right?
funny because there's people out there on YouTube and like podcasts who are like, "Oh, this is like a woke show trying to push
political."
too political." Have you watched X-Men? Have
Like,
you
are
ever
you
seen?
aware of what X-Men
Have you ever
is?
seen an X-Men show?
That's a
movie,
really good point.
Comic book, like X-Men was
the most progressive.
was created. X-Men
Yeah.
was created
Specifically.
to put eyes and help people realize that we are all different.
Yeah.
And like it's literally helped every movement that has
Yeah.
ever happened. Whether
It's
it was
the entire point of X-Men.
You
Right.
literally mentioned MLK and Malcolm X
Correct.
like 20
Yes.
minutes
correct,
ago.
which
Shibata.
Yes.
exactly. Like
Yeah.
X-Men have helped the progression of the civil rights. It's helped the progression of like LGBTQ community. Like it's
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
is the stand-in for all things that are minority and oppressed.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
it's the entire point of it. Yeah, and so I do think like essentially what they need, they have these gears rolling with like the idea. They always kind of need a new mutant to like kind of have
You're
this
right.
idea of like
You're right.
coming to grips with it because
Right, yeah.
like it's one of those things where it's like, well, you have these older mutants who start out, you know, feeling that kind of way, but then they have to grow them up like Cyclops, and then they're kind of like graduating
Yeah.
a little bit from that idea. Well, then you got to bring in people like Jubilee, which they did at the beginning of
Yeah.
the original series. Well,
Right.
now Jubilee is kind of guiding, you know, Roberto and
next
that kind of stuff.
generation, yeah.
The next generation. So you're kind of just seeing this, like, they always kind of need this little plot here, just showing that, like, no matter how much these people grow up, how much ever they change, there's always going to be people out there who are feeling like they are not a part of the we.
Yeah.
You know?
yeah. And
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah. I'm interested to see where that ends up, though.
Dude, even Magneto's like crushing origin story,
Oh yeah.
which he even
Yeah.
hits on here.
Yeah.
At being Jewish. It's like,
Yeah.
like it's like I love how you said, Justin. Have you never watched anything with X-Men
Yeah.
before?
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, like a bunch of experts talking about it. Like they have no idea what's going
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
That quote unquote experts. Yeah.
but I think it's really it's gonna play out well. I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm honestly,
Yeah.
I'm truly excited to see what the next 8 episodes bring because they're laying these first 2 episodes lay down quite a bit, man.
Yeah.
I mean, losing powers, Magneto coming into power with the X-Men, actual X-Men, Scott and Jean giving birth to Cable. Like,
Yes.
By the end of episode 10, do we get a full Cable coming back from the past or from the future?
I really think so.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause,
Well,
we had a future Jean Grey.
Dude, that's okay.
Oh yeah,
speculation.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say,
there we go.
speaking of the future,
Shoot, man, there you go.
what the flip was
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
So future Jean Grey is.
Is this like the Days of Future Past storyline here? You think?
We might see a very large inspiration of that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And you guys want to speculate on that at all, or is it just too? I don't even know how.
We're most likely actually I should say the most likely storyline that we will get moving forward here is the close to the Days of Future Past. Like
Yeah.
the future is so screwed up, it's effed. The Sentinel program is crazy.
Yeah.
Somebody slipped through a Sentinel program and it got passed, and now the future's paying for it,
Yeah.
and they got to send some people back to
Yeah.
stop it.
Yeah,
That's basically it.
yeah, it's very possible. I think we're definitely going to get
right with
a
that.
full grown Cable.
Yeah.
You know, I would love to see a scene of like Cable having to take care of Cable. That would be cool. I would love to get like taking care of baby Cable, like, you know, just like in a
That's
baby
funny.
Bjorn, just like having to take care of himself would be pretty.
Or like
epic
he's
scene.
holding his baby self, and he's like, "That's what my good eye looked like." Like
Yeah.
just like a reference like that.
That's good.
Oh man,
That's
but
really good.
but yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see what happens. I do think it's going to be time travel-y, whatever this main storyline
Woo,
is.
can't wait.
I
Here we
mean,
Yeah.
go.
You're the one who should be really excited.
Buckle
Yeah.
up.
I'm excited to see Morph and where he goes.
Yes, I was just about to
because
bring that up.
Just his abilities alone
Yes.
are fantastic. Like we saw Psylocke and we saw
Yes,
Blob,
Angel,
Angel,
and Blob. Yes,
Yep.
that was super cool. It's a great way to like remind you,
Sabretooth at the end when him and
Yes.
Wolverine. What the heck, dude? That was so awesome.
Yeah,
that
it was a
good.
great way to like
Trying to comfort Wolverine.
Correct.
He doesn't want it. It's like, all right, well, let's fight.
Yeah,
Yep.
Sabretooth's all about that life.
Yeah, it's a great way to like give winks and nods to these other mutants
Correct,
without
yeah.
really having to give them like storylines or anything else. It's like, hey, 5 seconds, you know, it's you know really cool. It's almost like Beast Boy in Teen Titans, where he's like
Yeah.
these, you know, he's just whatever power he needs at that moment, you know, he
Yeah.
he jumps into it, you know, and once again, it shows like the teamwork, like he like literally like. Was it really necessary to have him turn into Blob so that somebody could jump on him to get up?
No,
But it was super cool
was
because
fun.
you get
Yeah.
to see the character, and it's like you see the teamwork, and it's like once again it goes back to the whole like, you know, the community of what X-Men is and everything like that. Like them working together in teamwork
Yeah.
is a legitimate like it's their way of showing that like they can work together, they can be a part of a community.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And I'm also intrigued to see which other mutants come along. Like, there's gonna be like when we saw Roberto, who's Sunspot. We saw like, will he manifest fully, or who else will come in? Iceman, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So I'm excited to see the rest of the series. It really brings back to childhood nostalgia too,
Yes.
and
Think
they
I
executed.
think it's gonna be interesting. Like, there's gonna be some like who's the enemy? Like, if Magneto's not the villain,
Yeah.
it's my first guess is continuation of just angry bigot humans. I guess.
Correct,
yeah,
Right. Like, it's got to
correct.
be Friends of Humanity people like
Yeah.
that.
I mean, the Sentinel
Trask,
program.
Maybe
you
it's
know,
Trask.
I mean, do we have enough time to do Mr. Sinister? Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like that's a possibility, but we'll see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, you know, where it goes. Like, I don't think they've really like laid out a true idea of what the villain will be yet.
Correct. Well,
But-
right now the villain is humanity. Right now, like that's
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the only. Yeah, I know. That's the only villain that is here
Well,
right now.
it's actually very interesting because like it's not just humanity. It is very much showing that at this moment in the timeline, humanity's soul is up for grabs. Is the way I see it, because you have these entities like Friends of Humanity, but you also have this strong like government entity that is very pro X-Men at the moment.
Yeah.
Like, so you're seeing like this power struggle almost, where it's like at this moment you're like, it could go either way. Like that, and that's what they're trying to show is like at this moment, and which would lead to like the idea of, okay, this is why Jean Grey would come back to this moment in time. Why why they're even doing this timeline at all? Why are they telling us this story? It's because this moment matters.
Yeah.
Like, this is the moment where one person is going to jump out and is going to push. What'll happen is they'll push humanity in a direction where it becomes, you know, coexisting with mutants, and then the other one will be, you know, destruction of mutants and the potential Sentinel programs growing up and building things like that.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, it's very possible that those Sentinels, maybe they're not even from our timeline. Maybe they were dropped here by someone else from a future timeline to help Trask,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
where he is, what's happening there. So, you know, because they did say that they destroyed them. What if they really did destroy them, and those are just, you
From
know,
another world,
from
another
from
universe, yeah.
from a future.
Yeah. Wow. Man, very exciting. It's fun to have a something X-Men to.
I know.
Is this
Yes.
the first time we've
On this
have we reviewed
podcast?
something X-Men related?
New Mutants.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
God, Shimano.
Yeah,
That's it.
You
Yeah.
shouldn't have done that to me.
On that note,
I was about to end on a like joyful, happy note.
yeah.
Seriously
though,
it's fun talking about
Joyful,
it.
happy note. Like, we're unlikely to see any of the people from New Mutants.
Thank God, dude. That is so so unforgettable that I can't even remember. Let's not talk about it.
Yeah.
Off the pod. But anyways, it's good to have something X-Men related. It's good to have some animation. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, and it's nice to have that. We're gonna have this is gonna be a staple for us the next. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I will say, you said it's good to have animation. If we didn't have animation, we wouldn't get the cool airplane blows up and Cyclops using his freaking laser beam
Yes.
to softly land on the ground.
Yes.
Like, that was
And
one of
superhero
the
landing.
sickest
and cause a
scenes.
7.8 earthquake.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Magnitude
literally,
earthquake. Yeah.
He's like, everyone's good? Okay, cool. And he like smiles and he like blasts the
Let me
largest
crater
freaking
the earth
ray
right here.
and then
Yeah.
lands in
Yeah.
a crater.
yeah.
And then to me, my X-Men. And
Yes.
then they all like,
yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
dun, dun, dun. That's so sick, dude.
Yes.
I love
Like, yeah, that, it was such a,
it. Only in animation.
yeah,
Could you execute
it's super
that.
cool, like,
good.
seeing that, because it's also like, he didn't do that until he made sure that everyone on
Yeah.
his team was already
Correct,
safe.
correct.
Like, so, like, he was willing to, like,
Yeah.
do whatever needed to be done before that.
It's also convenient to have at least 3 people that can fly. That's
Yes.
That's
Oh,
And
very
Morph,
helpful.
who can just make himself
Right,
fly.
yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
Morph can make himself fly, Rogue can fly,
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that
that's great.
helps. That helps.
It does help.
But anyway,
I wish I could fly. Anyways, hopefully you flew through this podcast, and hopefully you come back next week as we review episode number 3 of X-Men 97. Had a really good discussion on this one. So yeah, we hope that you return. Share this podcast with your friends, any Marvel friends you have, any X-Men fans that you know. Share this podcast with them, and be sure to come back next week. With all that in mind, for my good friends Sandy and Shamato, this is T-Roll saying thank you so much for listening to the Royal Geek Podcast. We will see you next time, you mutants.